To understand the Relvan Empire, you have to look at the sheer scale of its survival. Ruled by King Korsk and his heirs, this sprawling civilization expanded across vast plains through pure grit and military endurance. But that expansion constantly attracted enemies. Relv faced relentless raids from jealous neighbors, and more dangerously, an insidious and highly organized faction known as the Delta. To protect the empire, Prince Juan founded the Lambda, a massive shadow army acting as invisible protectors across the provinces. This tactical map shows exactly how effective they were. It illustrates the Lambda's signature tiller blade maneuver. An overwhelming force would silently rush from all horizons, forming a perfect circle to rapidly close in and swallow erratic enemy clusters whole. For the citizens living through this bloodshed, their survival felt completely organic. It looked like the natural, hard-fought evolution of a warrior state built on human sacrifice and destiny. Curious, but if we pull back, the reality of Relv looks very different. The Empire's timeline was actually being heavily monitored from the outside, tracked aboard an advanced space-time ship called the Timagor. Aboard that ship sat Artix, an immortal tech genius known to the Relvans as the Being of Light, along with his human companion, Bobby. Artix used a device called an event editor. He could literally treat the history of this entire planet like a curated playlist, scrubbing through time to pause and alter events at will. The brutal, seemingly organic victories of the Lambda were actually the result of this time traveler artificially tipping the scales from the shadows. Prince Juan realized early on that a single man couldn't protect a growing empire forever. He needed to scale the operation, so he passed the mantle of the Lambda to his hidden heir. This son of Juan executed a radical strategy. He traveled through the outer provinces, recruiting what became known as his secret wives, and secretly elevating them to royalty. This diagram illustrates the result, a massive, decentralized breeding program. You can see how a single central node rapidly branches out, dropping markers across dozens of disconnected provinces to supply a hidden global academy of Lambda children. And Artix actively protected this network. During a massive time-hopping drinking binge, he used his ship to build illusionary safe zones, clearing out major threats to the Lambda before they ever manifested. The omnipresence of the Lambda relies on a multi-generational biological and geographical engineering project, actively shielded by a godlike editor. Artix's interventions soon went far beyond tweaking geography. He began violating the physical boundaries of life and death. Take the case of Princess Adel. During an assassination attempt backed by the Delta, Prince Prosh shot Adel in the heart, leaving her trapped in a deep coma. While her body lay unconscious, Artix pulled Adel's consciousness into an extra-dimensional void. He used her out-of-body state to safely reveal her shooter's identity without waking her. He even manipulated time to alter lineage. Artix granted a deceased female soldier named Kierna the ability to father an entire generation of children for a living commander, achieving this entirely by looping time and entering his dreams. His technological meddling was so vast it crossed over to Earth, manipulating human inventors to shape universal progress. Artix specifically reached out to Orville and Wilbur Wright, warning them that their experimental signals were attracting unwanted attention. He effectively placed them right into his engineered timeline. In this reality, the distinction between a divine miracle and technological meddling is completely erased. Fast forward into the 1200s, and the heavily curated timeline finally begins to fracture. The Delta executed a counterplot centuries in the making. They used fake adoptions to secretly insert their own sleeper agents directly into the hidden Lambda academies. This animated diagram shows the resulting systemic collapse. The once solid timeline violently splits into two diverging jagged paths, the Mu and Nu sects, as hostile forces immediately encroach on the divided factions. Even with an immortal time traveler micromanaging history, systemic infiltration and rampant human paranoia will eventually break an empire. To find a resolution, we have to jump 800 years past Prince Juan's death, into the void of the afterlife. Here, the ultimate soul of the Delta arrives. He seeks out Juan to offer an eternity of apologies for the centuries of shadow war. Juan satisfies his ego by staring the Delta down in absolute silence for a full century. Only then does he finally grant him forgiveness. True to form, Artix meddles one last time. He solidifies their ghosts just long enough so the two ancient enemies can sit at a bar together, watching their engineered history unfold. Relv's history leaves us with a profound realization. Even in a universe where destiny is a first draft waiting to be edited, human grit, sacrifice, and forgiveness are the only things that make the story matter.